Because anytime we make an investment, we want to get a return on it. And unless you're testing and measuring your marketing, you're not going to know whether you're getting a return on investment. Welcome to the 7-day weekend. Hi there and welcome again to the 7-day weekend. Today I want to talk about the two most important words in business, test and measure. Now think about it, you're going to want to grow your business because a business that's not growing is dying. There's no such thing as standing still, because if you're standing still, your competitors are catching up with you, and by that virtue of that happening, you're going backwards. So you need to grow your business. Now, if you need to grow your business, you're going to have to manage some stuff. And anything that you need to manage needs measuring. You can't manage something without measuring it. Or if you do, you're going to be making decisions emotionally and not objectively. Best way to make decisions is objectively. And with objectivity, we need numbers. And that's why we need to test and measure. So there's two parts to this, test and measure. So about the test, let's talk about marketing. Just recently, I've been sharing some videos on my top 6 cost-effective marketing strategies. And a lot of those marketing strategies don't cost a lot of money, but they actually do take some time. Now, time in business is money. So if you are a business owner and you're doing a lot of your marketing yourself, and let's say it's networking, and you're not actually investing a lot of money in networking, but you're investing a lot of time, give yourself an hourly rate, and you need to work out how many hours are you doing networking, because that is a cost to your business. Now, it may not be a cost in money coming out of your bank account, but it is a cost to your business, because while you're doing that, you're not doing other things. If you really want me to give you some help on self-management and time management, I'm going to be doing a whole host of new videos on that in future. But right now, I'm talking about physical investment of money and time in your business. You need to be testing and measuring that to make sure you're getting a return on that investment. Because anytime we make an investment, we want to get a return on it. And unless you're testing and measuring your marketing, you're not going to know whether you're getting a return on investment. So what does that look like? Well, first and foremost, with lead generation, we need to be testing and measuring every single lead generation strategy that we've got. How many lead generation strategies do you have right now? If you've only got 1 or 2 lead generation strategies, then may I suggest that you might want to consider using a few more. In our world as Action Coach, we have an amazing chart with well over 100 lead generation strategies that we want to help you implement into your business. I'm not suggesting you're going to use all 100 of them, but you probably want to be using around about 10. So each of those different lead generation strategies, they need to be tested and measured. So you need to know, first and foremost, the first thing you need to know is when every single inquiry comes into your business, where did you hear about us? Okay? Or if it's coming into you by email, or if it's coming into you on a web form, you need to be asking that question. Where did you hear about us? Because unless you know where they heard about you, you don't know which marketing strategy drove them to actually get in touch with you in the first place. So that's the first thing to do. Make sure you know where every single lead has come from. So that's the first thing to measure. Testing is about not going all in just because someone has phoned you up and said, hey, we've got a great offer this week on adverts in the local radio station, and instead of it being £10,000, this week it's going to be just £5,000. It would be crazy to do that. You need to be testing the marketing that you're using, which means you are putting a little bit into it to see what comes back out. You see, what you want to do with your marketing is you want to get that return on investment. So for every pound you put into your marketing, you want more than £1 coming back out. Now, for some of the marketing strategies you do, you'll put £1 in and you'll get £10 out, or you'll get £20 out. For other marketing strategies that you'll do, you'll put £1 in and you'll get £1.50 out or £1.20 out. Which of those marketing strategies are you going to use? All of them. All of the marketing strategies that give you a return on investment are good strategies to use. Now, some people say, yeah, but hang on a second. If I put £1 in and I get £20 out, I'm going to use that one, not the one that I put £1 in and I get £1.20 out. But what happens if the one that you put £1 in and get £20 out suddenly stops working? So let's say, for example, it's a digital marketing strategy and the platform you're using, let's say it's a social media platform, decide they're going to change the way that they do their advertising algorithms. And all of a sudden, what you were doing suddenly stops working. What happens then? If you've got only one marketing strategy and it suddenly stops working, how many leads are you getting right now? No leads. So any strategy that gives you a return on investment is a good strategy. Now, for cash flow purposes, of course, you're going to put more money into the strategies that give you a bigger return, but we don't want in business a single point of failure. So we need to have multiple strategies. Like the pillars of a temple, the more of those pillars you've got, the stronger the temple. So that's exactly the same with marketing strategy. So every single one of those strategies needs to be tested and measured. And the test part is, let's try a few different things and see what works. Now, what sort of things do you need to test? Well, I'm afraid there's lots of different things you need to test, because you need to understand what message do your clients need to hear, or your prospects need to hear in your marketing. Which are the ones that work best? What are the platforms that work best? There's so many different things to test. Let's take, for example, Facebook advertising. You might want to try a couple of different parameters in terms of the target market you're aiming for. You might need to try a couple of different images to see which one works the best. I'll give you an example on images. So I work with a heating company. They do boilers and boiler servicing and installations of boilers. And we sat down and we were thinking about some ads that might work really well on Facebook. And we had a couple of different photographs. And one of the photographs was created by a marketing agency. And it was a picture of a cat reclining, enjoying the heat on a radiator. And we thought, you know what? It's going to go really well on Facebook. Then we did an ad which had a picture of a mother and a child with a boiler serviceman in a nice, smart uniform in a kitchen, all smiles, all happy. That photograph outperformed the picture of the cat 13-1. Now, unless we'd have split tested those two things, we would never have known. We might have just gone with the advert with the cat in it and got pretty shoddy results. So this is what I'm talking about. Different things in your ads need testing. You need a different headline. You need to test and measure different headlines. Now, in future videos, I'm going to be talking about how to craft really amazing marketing campaigns, how to create salesmanship in print so that you do really great ads. But what we need to do is, even with all the principles that I'm going to teach you, you're still not right with your ad until you've tested and measured it. You see, the value of your communication is the response that you get. The only way to know the best response is to test a few different things and see which one gets you the best response. Okay? So that's the testing part. The measuring part, real simple. You need to know where the leads are coming from. You need to know how many of those leads are actually converting into new customers for you. You need to know how much those customers are actually spending with you. You need to know how much it costs you to buy that customer. And you need to know what margin and average order value you're making with those customers as well. Because only then will you know whether you're getting a return on investment. Return on investment in marketing is about two things. It's about the acquisition cost of the customer versus the lifetime value of that customer. Okay? So these are the things that we need to be doing with marketing. Reducing the acquisition cost, in other words, reducing how much it costs us to buy a customer, and increasing the lifetime value of that customer. Now, if you're in a business where generally customers will only buy from you once, you can extend that lifetime value by getting lots of referrals from that particular customer. Okay? We should all be doing that anyway, but that's a way of increasing lifetime value. Okay, so acquisition cost. What's that all about? Well, if you know how much it costs you per lead that comes into your business, and you know how many of those leads you convert into a customer, now you know how much it costs you to buy one customer. Let me give you an example. Let's say you do a campaign, a Facebook campaign, and it costs you £100 and you got 100 leads. Then in other words, each lead costs you £1. If you converted one of those leads into a new customer, it costs you £100 to buy that customer. Okay, it costs you £100 for the campaign, you converted one customer, it costs you £100. If that customer then spends £10,000 with you and your margin is 10%, you've made £1,000 in profit. So in other words, you've invested £100, you've got £1,000 in profit, you've basically made, for every pound you've put in, you've got a £10 return. Okay, so I hope that makes sense in terms of how you do the measurement for your marketing. One thing that I think is really important is you start now to test and measure. You've got to start now. So you've got to have a system, you've got to have a process for that. Now, if you have a look in the link below, you'll see a link to my website. If you go to my website, you'll be able to download a really simple test and measure template, and you can start testing and measuring your lead generation right now with that free template. I hope you've enjoyed the content here today. If you have, please share it with as many other business owners as you can. Subscribe to my channel, turn on the notifications, and I'll make sure you get some more of this good stuff that I've promised you, especially the stuff about how to craft great marketing campaigns in the future. Subscribe here, put on the notifications, and I'll make sure you get those videos in future.